Today, the Pokemon Company dropped a brand new trailer for us to take a look through, but we're not going to go through everything. I'm going to highlight some of the main points that stuck out to me and what you should probably be looking for in this new trailer. Let's get started. First thing is first, the day and night cycles in the world are coming back, and I'm hopeful that they have different Pokemon in the daytime than in the nighttime. So we'll have to see when the game releases. The next major thing that we see is actually our first time actually seeing one-on-one Pokemon battling in Scarlet and Violet, which is awesome to see because all we've really seen is just people walking around them, having the auto battling going on. So this is actually one of the cooler things that they've shown in this trailer, in my opinion, because it actually shows us the mechanics of how one-on-one battling is going to be. This does bring up my question, are we going to be able to throw Pokeballs to the wild Pokemon and catch them, or do we have to walk up to them, catch them in tall grass like the original games were like? Hopefully we get the Pokeball system back, but we'll just have to see when the game fully releases. So you see in the background that there's a glowing Jigglypuff, right? What apparently it is that as you're walking up to the Pokemon, this is telling you that there is a rare terrestrializing Pokemon, or just a terrestrializing Pokemon in general. Now, my question is, because they'll talk about it in the actual trailer when you go and look at it, is that this is a Jigglypuff with a rare Terra typing because it's water-based. They explain it in the video as well what I mean by rare Terra typing. As you can see with the Jigglypuff here, its normal typing is normal and fairy, right? Just how we normally see Jigglypuff. But the Terra type is water, making it rare because it doesn't have a normal or fairy type Terra typing. That's a lot of different typings in one sentence. My apologies. So an additional question that I have when you're going against these different typings of the Terra typings, as it shows here, you come across all of the Pokemon can have all the different Terra typings, all the different typings in general. My question is, are you able to only see the rare Terra types in the overworld that you saw with the shiny Jigglypuff? Or is it just any kind of Terra typing, like it could be a Pikachu with an electric Terra typing? That's what I want to know. Also here, we actually finally get to see the Let's Go application, essentially the auto battling in the wild. Looks really cool, looks really simple, but one cool thing that you notice is in the bottom right underneath my camera, you see that it dropped a Litleo tuft. It's actually going to come into something called a TM machine, or the technical machine that I'll bring up a little bit later in the video. But it's cool that they are actually implementing something more RPG-like that they mentioned would be for this game in particular. It's just cool to actually see the stuff dropped and gives an incentive to keep doing auto battling in the wild. Continuing off of where we went with the auto battling, it shows us that when we go into the Starfall Street areas where you go against all the grunts, you actually have to use auto battling to go against some of these Pokemon and actually progress through the little area. I guess like the little raid area that you can do for the Starfall Street gang. Whatever that is, it looks like a whole bunch of fun. It makes it a lot easier to go through with the auto battling, so I'm excited to use it. So what I had mentioned just a little bit ago was the TM machine, or the technical machine, as right here at the new Pokemon centers, as you see right here. So you can make your own TMs. Now the question is it going to be actually just constantly be able to make your own TMs? Is it a one-time use for a TM? What's the kind of stuff you have to find in the overworld? And it's all kind of answered here a little bit. So as you see, the player can actually go in and purchase, technically, some of the different TMs that you can play with. So it looks like you can get some of the overworld items doing the auto battling, and you get different items against different Pokemon. You also have to use different points that you can get throughout playing the game, is my assumption. And that way you can get more TMs, probably get an absorbent amount of them. I think it's a cool system. I also like the fact that you can get TMs anytime you want to, if you have the right stuff. So I'm curious how this is going to affect competitive and just the game overall. But let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know in the comments below. One of the main things that was shown in this brand new trailer was the fact that Girafarig is now having a brand new evolution chain, or just an evolution in and of itself to Farigiraf. Look at this guy. It is adorable. It's kind of hilarious to look at if you think about it, from the tail coming to the upper half and just kind of enveloping its entire head. I think it's a fantastic evolution, and it's about time Girafarig got some love. Let me know what you guys think. Now, it is still a normal and psychic type Pokemon, which we should have expected anyway with the evolution chain. But again, it is nice to see that this guy is finally getting some love, being one of the earlier gen Pokemon. And I'm just excited to see that we have a brand new Pokemon reveal for the region. Now, one of the major parts of this trailer that brought up more questions for me than answers was actually the picnic time. that I'm calling it. It's essentially the new tenting system that you have from Sword and Shield into Scarlet and Violet. Looks like you can clean off your Pokemon from different battles, which allows you to have a better bond with them, restores the HP, it takes away all the status effects. So essentially just a whole different kind of version of a Pokemon Center for them. They can hang out, but another thing that brings up a bunch of questions is the fact that you can look into the basket here and you have an egg. It just shows up inside the picnic time. So there's a bunch of questions that I have around that, but I'm making a separate video about it so we can, summarize it a bit more and get through the rest of this video. I'll link it down below, my thoughts of all the different things that are going on with this, but nonetheless, you can get an egg from picnic time that brings up more questions than anything else. So like we had the curry eating inside of Sword and Shield, we now have sandwich making here in Scarlet and Violet. One of the craziest things is the amount of freaking time that you have to make one of these sandwiches. I don't know why they give you 10 minutes to make a sandwich. I'm assuming that the different pieces and different ingredients that you use inside this sandwich does different status effects. I'll probably make a video once we have the actual game come out describing this a bit more of what each pieces mean. But still, it's a little crazy how much time they give you for this. I think one of the crazier things about the actual sandwich situation that they're going on here, if you take a look at the top right here, it actually gives you buffs on certain things. So for this particular one, catching power is better against fairy Pokemon. You encounter more grass type Pokemon. And in raid battles, you have better power with ground type moves, is what I'm assuming. We don't fully know yet, but this is still crazy to me. If you make a sandwich that is the right typing, you can have such an advantage battling and catching certain types of Pokemon. This is going to change the game for a bunch of speed running. It's going to change the game for a bunch of catching types, especially shiny hunters. I see you out there. I know you're going to use this to the best of your ability. This is just a cool addition if you ask me, and they're really pushing the boundaries of what you can do at this picnic time, and I think it's fantastic. Finally, one of the main things that was also shown is actual battle of the Terra Raid battles that you have with all the different Pokemon, all the different people inside of Scarlet and Violet. One of the cool things, though, is that we've already seen some gameplay, but it's not as in-depth as this. So you can see that there's a bunch of different people using a bunch of different Pokemon going against a rare Terra-typing Chansey since it has Ghost type, since it's a normal type Pokemon. So we're getting a little bit more of an idea of what it will actually be like with them. I think one of the cool things that I've noticed is that you actually all attack at the same time instead of just different turns. So it almost seems as soon as you press the move that you want to use, you can attack the Pokemon, which is nice. One thing that they do show, again, is that once your Pokemon gets fainted inside one of these battles, because it's going to happen to you at some point, let's be honest here, that actually does take some turns for your Pokemon to be revived, which is nothing new that we haven't seen before. But one of the nice thing is that when your Pokemon is gone, it's showing that you can do different types of cheering instead of just boosting up the attack power. You can also heal your teammates' Pokemon along with taking status effects such as attack power up as well. So I think it's a nice improvement on this. So I'm excited to get into these inside game. So far it looks amazing and the game just looks phenomenal, man. I gotta be honest. As always with these new trailer, Pokemon don't really hold back any punches and at the same time leave us with more questions than answers. But honestly, if you ask me, that's one of the best things about the pre-releasing and all these different trailers to get us even more hyped up for the games. I honestly am fine with having more questions unanswered than answered before we get into it so we can explore everything ourselves. Nonetheless, let me know what you guys think. I appreciate you looking at the video. If you could, hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for more content because we're covering a bunch of stuff inside this video. Other than that, I appreciate you guys once again, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.